Welcome to another video. In this video, we are going to look at examples of using if-else statements. All right. So let's go to our project in PyCharm. I'm going to create a file under the folder control flow conditionals because these are conditionals. I'm going to say if-else example 1. All right. So let's start by defining some variables. Let's just say simple variables. A is 1, B is 5, C is 30, and D is 10, right? So let's say I want to write a conditional that will check the size of, or the number A, the amount of A, if it's bigger than B or not. So I can say if A is less than B, right? This is a statement, colon, and you hit enter. When you hit enter, if you're using PyCharm or if you're using an IDE that knows Python, if you're not using just a text editor, it would automatically indent it for you. As you can, I just saw. In fact, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to put semicolon. As soon as I hit enter, it automatically indented. You see that? There is an indent of 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 is a configuration, but that's the default as well. You can change that in the config, but you don't need to. So the block that will execute if this statement is true, this is a condition that's being checked. If this condition is true, anything that's inside of that block will get executed. In this case, we're just going to print. I'm going to start with double quotes. In single quotes, I'm going to say A is less than B. All right. Then I will do else. So if there is more logic, you keep it indented, right? I can do another print here or any logic. If not, you can do else. And I'm just going to print NA. Okay, so this is a very simple if-else statement. If this condition is true, execute this, else execute that. Okay, so let's run it. I'm going to right click, run, and you can see A is less than B. So what if A is not less than B? Let's make A 10, right? 10 is not less than 5. So if we run it again, it's not going to print A is less than B. It's going to print NA because that's an else. Okay. And with else is optional. If I was to comment this out, right? So there's no else, commenting it out, meaning it's the same as deleting it as far as Python is concerned. Okay. So if I was to run this, you should see nothing because this block is false. So this is not going to execute and it's not going to do anything else. If A was less than B, so I just changed the value of A, I'm going to run it. And now it did print it. So the else is optional. Or always remember that, okay? So let me make this way so it's easier to see. All right? Okay, let me move this up too. So, and you can have multiple conditions like we saw. So let me leave the else in there. Even though it's optional for this purpose, we just leave it there, okay? Because sometimes you do things. If none of these conditions meet, you actually do something based on that. All right, so we can do another block, then that's going to be elif. Elif A is, let's say, greater than or less than C. Well, what do I have on my notes? A is greater than B. If A is greater than B, then I'm going to do print A is greater than B. Okay, now we see an elif. So now this is complete, right? We have an if, an elif, and else. Elif and else are optional. You just need one block at least. So if A is less than B, this would be executed. In this case, this will be executed. So let's run this. All right. And one thing you have to remember is as soon as it hits one true statement, it's not going to try the rest of them, okay? If A less than B is true, then it's not even going to attempt to look at this or anything else, okay? So now let's make A greater than B. B is 5, A is 1. Now A is 10. So we run this, we're going to get A is greater than B, right? This was less than, this was B. What if exactly the same? What if A is 5, exactly the same as B? What would happen? You run it, NA, because this is not true. Is A is less than B? No. Is A greater than B? No. Well, false. And then we'll execute that. So it's very simple. And if you want to have multiple conditions, let's say A is between B and C. So B is 5, C is 30. Let's say A is 20. Okay. So we're going to say if A is less than B, do this. If A is greater than B, do this. or we can say if A is greater than B and A is less than C, right? So the AND command, now these two have to be true. So this would work. You could run this, it would work. To make it clearer, because a lot of times the variables are not just A and B, it can be a little bit longer. So you can put those in parentheses if you like to make your code even more readable. You get the same exact result. So the AND says this has to be true and this has to be true. Okay, so this is a very simple if-else statement. Let's look at another example. I'm going to say this is example 1. Okay, now let's look at another example, example 2. So here, let's say I have two lists, okay, a list of shows and a list of movies. I'm going to copy it instead of just typing this here. So this is simply two variables. There is a variable called shows and the set list, and it has a list of shows: Friends, The Office, Breaking Bad, Stranger Things, such. And there is another list, and the variable name is movies, and it has Rocky, Jaws, Batman, Wonder Woman. All right. So let's say a user give us, or some data comes from somewhere, and there's a choice. I'm going to call my choice is going to be, let's say it's Batman, or let's say it's The Office, right? So I want to print a message. So this information here, let's say it came from somewhere. It's a user input, or it came from a file, it came from an API. It comes from somewhere, and in my code, we want to figure out if this is a show, or if it's a movie, or if it doesn't even exist. We don't know it. We want to do that. So what do you do? If my choice in shows, okay, because I showed you before, in is a keyword. The variable in the list, okay, the second part has to be list. Then I'm going to say print. What do I say? Oh, your choice is a show, right? What if elif my choice in movies? I'm going to say print your choice is a movie, right? And I'll say else print your choice is unknown. Let me fix the spelling. Movie. All right, so I'm typing a little too fast, so I'm making a lot of mistakes while I type, but that's not the point. The point is the Python part. Okay, let's go over this again. We have two lists. This list can come from anywhere. It can be from a database, from a file, anywhere. We have it. It's set. It's hard coded. Then there's these variables that can change, right? That's a user input or something. And now our script will want to tell this to the user whatever choice they made, it is a show or a movie. Okay, so if choice, or The Office, is in shows, print it's a show. If it's in movies, print it's a movie. Else, print something else. Your choice is unknown. So we were to run this. I'm going to run it. Your choice is a show. So let me comment this example out so we don't see the output from that. So we run it again. Your choice is a show. What if this is a Batman instead? All right, let's run this. Your choice is a movie. Okay, what if this is Superman? All right, let's see what happens. It's not in a show because it's not in this list. It's not a movie. It's not in this list. So it must execute this else block. Your choice is unknown. So that is if we want to say specifically, tell them it's a show or it's a movie. What if we just want to validate that this choice exists? So you can just check. Let me comment this out. In fact, let me put it here. It's easy to see. So I can say if my choice in shows or my choice in movies, then I can say print your choice is valid. Else print unknown. Just simply that. Okay, now what I did is two conditions. My choice is in shows or in movies, right? There's an easier way to do it. I might as well combine those two first and do one check, but for demonstration purpose we leave it as is. And to make it readable, like I said, we're going to add this parentheses. This way, it is really easy to understand what's going on. My choice is in shows or send out movies. We're going to say your choice is valid. If not, we're going to say it's invalid. So if we want to run this, it's going to be unknown, right? If I was to change to JAWS, if it's a movie, it's going to be your choice is valid, right? What if this is JAWS with a lowercase j? What happens? It says unknown. You see that? Because JAWS is lowercase, but in the list it's uppercase. They're not exactly the same, okay? So you would have to be careful with that. You have to be careful with cases, because it's case sensitive. All right, so these were examples of how to use if else. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do example 3 is going to be like that. This one is going to be example 2. Okay, and that's it. This is very basic examples of if else statements, but let's go ahead to another video and see more examples.